With the start of New Orleans' musical independence, there were a handful of rappers who carried the torch through the different sounds as they changed over the years. Out of that few stood a one-man army by the name of Terrius Gray, better known to us all as Juvenile. Juvie got his hip-hop start in the early 1990s and had been rocking parties in small venues years before he had an album out. In 1991, Juvie would be simultaneously heard by thousands of people across the city as a feature on DJ Jimmy's single titled It's Jimmy. Bounce for the juvenile, bounce for the juvenile, bounce trick, bounce, bounce, bounce. Although he was ready for the world on a much higher level, the city was demanding more bounce, and in 1993, Juvenile obliged with the release of his single, Bounce for the Juvenile. You messing with Mr. Juvenile, you messing with Mr. Juvie. You messing with Mr. Juvenile, you messing with Mr. Juvie. The song helped popularize bounce music and became a local classic, but Juvie had way more in store, and in 1995 signed with Warlock Records, where they released his debut album titled Being Myself. The album didn't receive much national attention and didn't chart on any billboards, but it did get the attention of the Cash Money giants, the Williams brothers. With the momentum from the release of his previous album, Cash Money decided to keep his buzz going and put him in the studio with the legendary Manny Fresh.
And for Juvenile, I bought Juvenile to Cash Money. You know, I met Juvenile, well, you know, I've been knowing him through the hood and shit, whoop de whoop, but Juvenile was at a bus stop coming from work one day. You know, he tell a story sometimes. Sometimes he mentioned that I got him signed, sometimes he don't. But I mean, facts is facts. You know what I'm saying? I bought him over there and I asked him to rap for Baby and Slim. We were doing the All On You Volume 2 album. You know, I was featured on BG shit. So I saw him and I picked him up. And I brought him to the studio with me. You know, I asked him, Baby and Slim wanted him to rap. The rest was history.
The Williams brothers' plan to take over the game had began, and in 1995, they shit the world with the release of Juvenile's second studio album titled Soldier Rag. Do you take care of your kids? Is it clean in your crib? Can't just stand eat some ribs? Ain't it scandalous how we live? It was very few times that song was played and there wasn't a fight. It was the first time Juvie and Manny would work together and was the first time they made history, but it wasn't the last. Soldier Rag was Juvie's exit from the local bounce sound and into the mainstream rap feed, and saw some national success as Soldier Rag charted on the Billboard's Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. Juvenile joined Cash Money Records as a solo artist, but the genius of the Williams brothers demanded more, and through their vision gave birth to a four-man rap group that took on the moniker of a real New Orleans street crew called the Hot Boys.
Original Hot Boy, me Sterling and Dooney, Disco, Million, Busy Gangsta and Tuna.
Gangsta, Dooney, Sterling, and Mosquito made up the original notorious Central City-based crew, but Juvenile, Turk, Lil Wayne, and BG would carry out the lifestyle of the original Hot Boys through rap, and they'd made millions with it.
Now you run into your family and you pause for help. Look, you invented some beef, you can't avoid yourself.
The Hot Boys set records, sold out stadiums, and ultimately became rap biggest movement from its start to its prime. And although Juvie was a hot boy, he was still the label's most demanded artist at the time. So after their debut album release as a group titled Get It How You Live, they immediately followed up with Juvenile's 400 Degreez album release, which was Juvie's as well as the label's breakout album to the masses after receiving extensive backing from Universal Records.
Juvenile hit big like Han did. Like, that's platinum, and that was a different status for New Orleans for as entertainment when Juvenile hit with Han.
You on a 3-day flight, huh? You full of that diesel line. You ducking them people, huh?
No matter what place, crowd, or circle of people, real is real in any setting, and it always comes out, which is highly noticeable whenever Juvenile is in the building.
Juvie ain't thick, I'm chillin', I'm a dog by mine.
Yeah, Juvenile, I needed in your life right at the courthouse. I was there. About 4 or 5 other Juvenile videos.
The album's first single, Huh, and later Back That Ass Up, both became household songs, charting on the Billboard Hot 100 and the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart.
Juvie called me. I'm all up in New Orleans over by the stove. Juvie got all kind of shit up under the bus, man. Crazy shit. I said, man, he said, yeah. I didn't know Juvie was hustling still.
I would like to thank everybody in this motherfucker for supporting my album 400 Degreez and helping me sell 5 million copies.
Juvie had 5 million records and shit, and it was still hustling, man. That was crazy. He went 5 times platinum. And he had me in the hood. We was shooting the video I needed in my life.
After the success of 400 Degreez, Juvenile found himself in the court battle with the local bounce legend DJ Jubilee over the rights to the song Back That Ass Up. Jubilee won the case, and because Juvenile wrote the song, he was sued and not Cash Money. Sources say Jubilee took in right at $2 million from winning his case. Regardless, the album sold 4 million plus units and made Juvie and Cash Money Records household names. In 1998, Cash Money Records released a remixed version of Juvenile's first album, Being Myself, and re-released Soldier Rag as a single, which opened the door to the Hot Boys' second album as a group but first national attempt.
These Hot Boys back at it again, you heard me? Oh, and it's guerrilla warfare time.
The album Guerrilla Warfare was released in 1999 and was a major success, weighing in at certified platinum.
Them Hot Boys come and please somebody. Stay on fire, they gon' burn it.
Even after the major success of the Hot Boys, Juvie's solo ventures kept coming and they all reached platinum status. The G Code in 1999, which went certified double platinum, and Project English in 2001, which went certified platinum. After major disagreements between himself and the Birdman, Juvie left the label, where he followed up with a few ventures of his own.
The rhyming dictionary. Like
rhyming dictionary, what's that?
That's basically like, you know, like it's a dictionary. Like say you end the rap with "and," you could look up "and" and see what word you could rhyme with that word.
Okay,
so sometimes he'll have writer blocks and he'll pull that out and be like, "Look, I found something to go with that." And then he just upped his vocabulary and stuff like that. So one day I saw him, he looking at it, so I started using it too. And he actually gave it to me because he saw I liked it.
Aside from his bounce roots, Juvie is a powerful writer and talented artist, and was one of the first rappers in the city to mix a melodic flow within his rhyming pattern.
Like Juvie's the first person I heard rhyming the sound and not the word. Like, that go with Sherilyn. I did the tell her one. He brought to a child at 15 and now she's scared of him.
You be like, burglar, heard of you, such a nerd in my, you know, his rhyming pattern.
I used to thought like, cat, hat, that, fat.
Whenever the name the Hot Boys are mentioned, the first thing comes to mind is the four-man mega rap group. But in New Orleans, the original meaning comes to mind as well. One who's about his business, don't take this shit from nobody, and always about that life. And although Juvenile was never a part of the actual gang, he was still a hot boy. Juvie is from the Magnolia, but also had ties in the Melpomene as well as the 10th Ward St. Thomas projects. Two areas of the city that not just anybody can roam through, areas with violent reputations. And Juvie's welcoming pass had been in effect years before he was a known rapper. With one hand in the streets and the microphone in the other, Juvie's lyrics were definitely fueled by the life he was living and the lives of real street gangsters around him.
We was in a nightcap one night. C Murder came in there to check Juvenile about something Juvenile said in the magazine. But he came in, I think he came in just like kind of like just asked him about the they had said in one of the magazines. I don't know, Juvenile wasn't scared though.
Juvenile getting slap situation, right? But first of all, that bitch Juve uptown. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know. I can't speak on it. I'll be lying, right? But Juve is an uptown, got the uptown attitude.
But what I know about Juvenile, I can't speak on this gun game being crazy. I don't know. I can't speak on that. But he ain't no coward. He gonna throw them dogs. He gonna fight. And he'll pop a too. He'll stand up. He'll stand up. Juvenile's not no hoe by a long shot. He's not a bitch. Like, if you want to know if Juvenile real, if he this, that, and the third, coming from that used to be around him, you know, we were never really part of his entourage like that, but I know him. We know him. Yeah, I know him. Juvenile will fight you. He's not no hoe at all. Stand up. He's not a bitch, bro.
How did that night play out?
All right. We was in there, right? The Calio came in that bitch deep. You know what I'm saying? They had Dodo particular time with him. Big U was with him. Yeah, whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of them. Hard hitters. Hard hitters out the Calio. Yeah. I gotta say all their names. They know who they was. They know who they was in that bitch. All of them was in there. All of them came from the door all the way to the back. That Calio. They played that C Murder mother. Cause I'm down. See, Murder was really coming in there and asked Juvenile about some shit he said in the magazine. He wasn't really, cause if he really want to come in there with guns blazing, they were the type of, they'll come in there with guns blazing. I think C Murder told him, no, we're not gonna do no shooting. We're just gonna talk to this. If something we talking about, we gonna f him up, back me up. We gonna, you know, whatever. But Juvenile didn't back down though. Nah. Juvenile was like, C Murder was talking to him. Yeah. Juvenile was looking at him like, man, what the f you talking about? Like, what you know, I don't know what you know what you Stone went grab Juve around the neck.
I just don't see a like Stone just come in that bitch and just like, cause even if, like, Juve ain't no hoe either. But in that moment, Stone is like, if anybody that don't help him out to know you, y'all leaving him out to dry. In this moment, it's us against them. So if we can't stop it, we gotta rule with Juve.
We at the back of the club. We ain't got no choice but to kind of like, you know, stand up for dudes. So the whole D, the whole Av, shout out to Darrell behind me with a whole pool stick.
I can see flashing, on his hand moving and all that, and I could see Stone like, man, look at man, chill man, that shit ain't about ooh, and not see being scared of him, but then see, oh, like, what's happening, bitch? Like, cause knowing, look at the power in y'all hands, destruction could come right now. Like, cause he said chill, and he said it respectful to make you snap into, like, come on, son, like, you know, we like that too, bitch. And it's gonna end bad for both of us, like, you almost gotta talk to say shit like that, like, and you ain't scary for stopping then. You understanding that, Bab, to stop losses, you did, I'ma stop this, cause there's no gain gonna come from it. Only losses gonna come from it.
Now I've seen other blog people say he smacked him and all that. He ain't smacked him, dog. But they did, Khalil did come in that.
They said C Murder smacked Juve?
Yeah, people were saying that, but that ain't what happened. That's not what happened. We was in there when that happened. Smacked him.
First of all, I don't see Juve let the smack. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I just don't get that from his character. I don't see him just letting him smack him, and then I don't see a smacking him, and then it being cause the whole project, the whole Yo Preston and Stone just letting it go like that.
So listen, this is a true story, Brown. Can nobody tell you? Ask Juvenile. Ask Juvenile. He'll tell you. Ask whoever was in that bitch this particular night. I left the club. I stayed in 11 Watt at the time, you know what I'm saying? Because I probably like about 5 blocks from the club. I only got a Mag 90 and I got a 45. You know what I'm saying? I came back in the club, I gave Stone a 45. You know what I'm saying? I grabbed a Mag 90. I tapped my brother already had a gun on him. Mm-hmm. He never left. Yeah. I walked you outside, got in the Bentley with him, closed the door. You know what I'm saying? The cat was standing around, they weren't really tripping though, because they had kind of talked the shit down. Murder had to say what he had to say. Right. So the Yo wasn't really tripping. But Juvenile was ready to get the fuck out of there. And I don't blame him. I got in the car with him. Juvenile, I got in the car with him. We rolled to the project, playing the rear view, playing the sides and shit, making sure nobody ain't following us. Got in the car, he dropped me off on the Cell Street. I got out, Juvenile pull off. Mm-hmm. You did?
So from that night, it was never an issue with C and Juve?
Nah, it wasn't an issue after that. Nah, it was cool after that. See, Murder just wanted to get some straight in that night. So Stone came back the next day. Stone came back right the next day in the LD. Stone came out and said, look, man, I don't know how Juvenile give a nigga back the pistol. Give me back the pistol. He said, I don't know nothing, but he said, man, but good looking out. Thank y'all, dog. And I felt good that I was able to help from the hood. You know, it was some. But at the same time, when I went to the Yo, like, twin, bitch, you lucky. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was like, you know, y'all saved him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying to myself, shit, I ain't save him. I just stood up for my hood.
He's shown he's about that life in the public's eye on several occasions and started one of the biggest cash money campaigns during the denial of his share of the pie from the label's officials. He's a product of the NO's worst eras and is one of the last to survive them. The violent times of the Scully and Metz era, the 1990 homicide record-setting era, and the cash money industry takeover era. Juvenile was there and relevant in every one. By the time Cash Money Records were in position as the world's biggest rap label, Juvie was recognized as the label's biggest rap artist, a position he earned through pure talent and having such stories that painted raw images of hood life for anyone who was listening.
Then he got caught and then started running with your peers, got school and came home, now you're back out here.
With the assistance of Manny Fresh and the backing of the world's most respected label, Juvie couldn't lose and even stayed relevant for years after he started his own record company. 12 studio albums, 3 compilation albums, 2 collaborative albums, 7 mixtapes, and a slew of singles all make up the foundation that sustains Juvenile's legacy in the industry.
Juvenile the owner. They got me on the label. I'm Skip.
We'll Skip in the building.
Skip. Once again, let me slow it up for y'all. UTP. Skip. Holly Grove.
I'm straight Holly Grove, you know that. But I'm old school. This your project, like a throwback.
What was the effects of that? Know Your Clap hit?
That bitch hit in 2 different waves, a couple of different waves. That was huge. We thought that bill gonna be big, but we didn't know that bill was gonna be that big. Wack had made the original. He came with the original Know Your Clap when he was just talking about the walls and shit. Mm-hmm. That's the first one he dropped. Him and his homie, they were doing the dance in the club. We got with Jay Prince and them, and they heard that bitch knew it was a hit. So we said we're gonna tailor make this bitch for the whole country. That's when we came with the remix.
Wack, Juvenile.
Wait a minute. The Know Your Clap came out under Rap Line?
The Know Your Clap come out under Rap Line at first. It was Wack's solo song. Everybody had solo songs on the album. It was a group album, me, him, and Juve. UTP.
He partnered up with the Houston-based giant Jay Prince and was able to launch his own label called UTP Records. The label's most notable song was a single titled Know Ya Clap, which was performed by the Magnolia Zone, Wacko. Know Ya Clap brung major success to the label and proved that Juvie could be successful on his own.
Then Atlantic came into the picture. But when we get to Atlantic, the focus went straight to Juve when we did Atlantic, though. It wasn't on us no more. Cause we had one of the hottest songs in the country. We didn't even get no second single.
Listen, bro. I interviewed.
We ain't had a second single. That was terrible. Anybody had any success of that magnitude, automatically gets a second single. They didn't even give us a second single. Katrina hit, focus went straight to Juve. It was over for us. Know Ya Clap dropped in 04. Boom. On TV, broadcast everywhere. 05, Katrina hit. I'm gonna go from doing the wall shows to the FEMA line. Imagine that fall off. Phew, crash. They put a move on Whack. Like I said, Know Ya Clap come out as a single. The original Know Ya Clap is a Whack solo song. But the remix is registered to Juve. But then we knew the remix was gonna be a big song. So I said, oh, they had to put the move in it. Cause we was all on label, we just turn the songs in to Juve and Aubrey and them. They were registering the songs in our name like they were supposed to. And they were coming back like they were supposed to in our name. But for some reason, the Know Ya Clap remix come back registered to Juve. I thought that was super fucked up like a mother right there. You knew this bill was gonna be the single. How the original Wacko song, but the remix is somebody else's song to the same song.
It had to do with publishing?
Yeah, it had to do with publishing. That was bad paperwork.
So
yeah.
kind of what happened with Birdman and Juve happened with Juve and Whack.
I don't know what happened with Birdman and Juve. I don't know that.
I guess as far as money being involved and not getting with
that happened with everybody in rap.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Music industry period.
Yeah, been getting beat like that and they was singing.
Yeah.
I'm out here though, every day. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I feel like I'm supposed to be out here. Not all the work I put in. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm supposed to be at a level where I'm supposed to be pulling my dues up out this shit. You hear me? But I'm out here. You hear me? Like, you know, I ain't rapping. You know, I ain't been rapping in 15 years. You hear me? I've been out here.
Juve always been like a mean type. You feel me? Juve always used to be like, man, y'all get the fuck from around here. Y'all making it hot. You feel me? But that's just Juve.
Juve was a little older too, right?
Yeah, Juve was older than us, but he wasn't old as them. You feel me? Juve was basically like a young uncle. You feel me? Like he always like put the law down, like put it in the sleep or punch it out and shit like that. Like when you say, like a lot of people might be like juvenile for a while as to the world that's juvenile, but to us that's to nut. You feel me? Like be like, man, don't go in that pose. That nigga to nut be tripping. You feel me?
Who that be like?
To nut.
Come in, Wardy. What? Shut the door, nigga.
Like every hot boy in the group, Juvenile was experiencing some type of life hardship, a harsh reality placed on his own life by the hand of himself. And for Juvenile, it was the consistency of arrests. At the start of 2000, he was arrested in Mandeville, Louisiana, charged with 5 counts of aggravated assault and 3 counts of simple battery after an altercation with several women that took place at his house. In 2001, he was arrested in Miami for smashing a champagne bottle over a man's head during a fight at the Improv Comedy Club in Coconut Grove. He was arrested again in 2002 after assaulting his barber over bootlegging his music, and once again in 2003 on drug charges. On February 25th, 2010, he was arrested in Arabia, Louisiana on misdemeanor charges of marijuana possession and once again for disorderly conduct for his role in a brawl that took place in another Miami nightclub.
Juvenile was arrested for disorderly conduct at a Miami hotel last night after allegedly getting into a fight.
He was also arrested several times for child support matters, in total making his arrest record just as long as his discography. In 2019, Juvie has resurfaced with his original label and dropped a collaborative album with the Birdman titled Just Another Gangster.
I see a nigga having fun like I was 16. I can't believe it's really happened, it was just dreams.
From the bounce scene to the mainstream, Juvie stood the test of time and have evolved into an OG in the game.
That's Hum Bruh. That's what Juvie get Hum Bruh from.
The song Hum that Juvie made. A little bit of argument, if you will, about a guy, his real name is Corey.
Yeah, I'm saying they got a dude off the Parkway named Corey. I think he artistic. You know, Corey find all the rappers and walk up on them or say, you going to the store, huh? You know KL, huh? So I don't know if that's where Juvie got that from, but Juvie definitely ran across Corey. But Juvie a creative dude like that. Like some dudes can listen at you talk and make a hook off for the shit that you saying. Slim was like that. You know, he said, say that again? You know, he said it again. So I wouldn't be surprised if Juve got that from him, but I don't know this to be fact. But I'm saying it's probably a 50-50 shot, you know. But Juve nice. Juve always been nice, you know. He ain't need Corey, but that show you how sometimes it's a simple shit go to the moon.
That's Humbra. That's what Juve get Humbra from.
You're looking at the head honcho. You're fucking with the head honcho.
Nigga know how it go. We play the game for keeps. You won't last if you weak. These bad bitches ain't cheap.
I met Juve like a long time ago. Man, Juve throw it all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Juve ain't fuck with me. Like, you can't walk up on Juve talking about what's ham, dapping him out. Juve ain't want you touching his hand probably. And Juve gonna mug you. You know, it's like he knew, you know. I guess years of doing that shit, you know, and you be out here, you doing what you're doing, that shit aggravates you. But people always just in your space all the time just because you out and about. He's seeing the nigga working. He like, you be coming around here with that camera too much. You been working a lot lately. I see you working with that camera.
But you guys had a run with Juvie as well, right?
Yeah, we had a run with Juvie. So what happened with the Juvie situation was like, we was doing an independent thing with South Coast Music Group, and something happened with the distribution in Houston where they had went bankrupt. So when they went bankrupt, they owed us a lot of money. I'm talking like in the millions, like, you know what I'm saying? At least 1.something million. So Juvie was just leaving Cash Money. He saw me in the club one night. He said, "Say, bro, I want to help y'all out." He said, "I want to give you 50 grand to kind of get back on y'all feet. No strings attached. I'm just give it to y'all." I was like, "Cool, let's do that." So he said, let's meet, like, you know. So we met at his studio on Chapatulas, and but before we went to him, I talked to Kango. I said, "You know what, bro, would be better for us? 50 grand, cool, but that's not, you know, we done played with that so many times. That ain't really no money." I said, what I want to negotiate with Juvie is if we can come under his umbrella, since he's like this well-known artist, and if he can give us the exposure, and then we just do a 1 album deal. And once we do the 1 album, you know, we could be free to do our own thing. That'll put us in a better position than giving us 50 grand. We gonna run through 50 grand, like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we need a connect. You know what I'm saying? We need a plug. So we went through Juvie, and he agreed to it, and we did the 1 album, Lil Bubba.